think this is where we left off at the end of the last porch video. Picked up my roofing sheets yesterday. I'm gonna head to the country and get started on this, but I gotta help my wife for a few hours this morning, so highly doubt I'll get maybe 1 or 2 sheets up, and I gotta close in the little gables, so it'll be a half a day. But anyway, excited to be heading that way. Well, I've been gone for a week and a half, and I came back and I see my grass is growing, which is awesome, because man, coming in and out of the house with dirt is it's no good. So got a little bit of grass started, so that's a good thing. And I already got the blocking up between the rafters on the outside edge, and that is solely because this will eventually be a screen porch, and that's just keep the bugs out. So I bought some 5/4 by 6 for the strips up top to screw the tin to, and I ripped them in half. I'm gonna put them up there. I don't know whether I'm gonna nail them or screw them. I don't know how bouncy it's gonna be hammering on the rafters, but I got screws just in case. I've got my metal for the roof, and I could theoretically start putting it up, but I'm gonna make it easy on myself. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these gables before I finish the before I put the sheet metal up. It'll just be quicker and easier. I'm gonna use some more of my redwood siding. I think I have enough. I think I brought enough with me. I know I have enough. Looking at it when I got here, I say, ooh, I didn't bring enough, but maybe I can at least get one end and we can start putting some roof on. Okay, got me some scaffolding. I got some siding, and I'm closing this in because one, it's got to be a screen porch, so it needs to be closed in. And two, those 6x6s, I believe, are pine. They're not weather resistant. So I'm gonna make sure that they don't stay out in the rain, don't stay wet all the time. Now, the reason that's so much easier without the roof on, I just let all those boards stack up, and then I drew a line and cut them all in place. I didn't have to like measure and calculate and go down and cut them and come up and put them. So I should do the other end before I put the tin, but I really want to put a couple sheets up, so maybe I'll start from this end and see if I can get a sheet or two up before it gets too late today. Got a joint here where the bottom sheet, where the new sheet is shoved up under the other sheet. Man, I got a pretty good chance of having a leak there because it's only like 1 inch and a little bit shoved up in under there. I'm not really sure what to do about it at the moment. But so I'm gonna go ahead and screw all the sheets down and see. I hate to just put some sort of caulk or mastic, but I don't know, that may be the only thing I can do. Anyway, first sheet's up, and I didn't fall, so life is good. Get your second sheet. Second sheet will be easier because I got something to stand on now. 2 sheets up. They're shoved under the existing sheets as far as they can go. No screws in them. And I came down to the bottom and shifted them left and right until the joint lined up, so I wouldn't have a sawtooth joint all the way across. So everything should be square. I'm going to put a couple of screws in the first one, and that's gonna remove some of the creepiness factor from being up here. And then I would like to put the pookie tape between these 2 sheets. I'm not exactly sure how. Anyway, let me get a few screws in the first sheet so I'll feel more comfortable standing on it. 6 out of 7 sheets. No problems really. I got a feeling this is gonna leak. This I can put regular flashing on and take care of that. The 7th sheet is ripped, and part of it going that end and part of it going this end, and I forgot to bring my electric shear. But anyway, I need to go finish the siding on this end, and it's getting kind of late. I don't know if I'll finish it or not. At least I can build my scaffolding. Okay, we have the siding on the second gable all nailed up, and I got my line. I just need to trim it with the jigsaw, and I'm packing up and heading home. I can't do the last sheet because I don't have the tool to cut it, and it gets ripped. Closing off this area between the deck and underneath the teeny house. It's pretty simple. I'm just screwing down a cleat, and then luckily the 1/2-inch OSB ends about right here, and the 2x4 framing is a little lower, so if I can get the plywood up in there and put the screws back, it stays snug. It's really hard because it wants to catch on every little piece of sheet metal. Now, if I can come from the back side, it's easy, but then I won't be able to screw my cleat. So just got started. I'm fighting with it. I don't have that far to go. But that's how I'm going to keep the bugs from coming from underneath the teeny house. It's not for weather. It's not for insulation. It's just for bugs, just to seal this off. So when it does become a screen porch, it'll be bug resistant. Where the sheet metal was cut up high for the fenders, for the wheels, I slid a piece of sheet metal up in there to make it look a little better. Okay, screen door centers here, and I think I want it to open out, and with the outward opening door, you don't want like a little bitty step where you got to step off of it to open the door. So I'm building like a little platform. It's going to be about 3 feet by about 5 feet, and I got these pre-nailed together, so I just need to dig the post holes so that, let's see, it's going to be a 7-inch step, so that the top of these 2x6s is 8.5 inches down from the deck. And I got some concrete. We'll concrete them in. Okay, pretty productive day. I finished the drip edge trim, which will protect the ends of those rafters from excessive water. They'll probably get wet occasionally. I closed in this area under here, which took a good while. And since it's closed in now, I could mount my steps permanently because they were kind of wobbly, but now they're screwed down tight. I set 4 posts here for the big step coming off the front, and set 4 posts back here for the shower enclosure, which I can't figure out in my mind what it's going to look like, but I know I have to have posts. I got to have a floor, so this is step 1. We'll go up from there. And I'm a tired puppy. I'm heading home. Putting together a mundane little standalone closet for the porch of the tiny house because we have nowhere to put brooms and mops and little things like that. So this is a very low budget, no big deal project. I'm using the door that used to be in our carport that we took down because we put a little refrigerator where this was, and I got some of my cypress from the foundry. And as usual, I start by planing and gluing, and I was thinking about that the other day, and I think it's because I don't use plywood on my structures. I do a lot of planing and gluing. So let's move forward on this. All right, I ripped both of my glue ups down to 12 inches. I even thought about making it shallower because I don't want to take up too much room on the porch, but I'm going with 12 inches. I measured the porch the other day, and I wanted this to be less than 7 feet tall, and I ended up with 6'9" of good material by cutting off the bad end. So I'm 12 inches by 6'9". That's my sides. For the back, I have a piece of the old 3/8 painted plywood from the house demolition. It's the last piece I have. And it's got like a bobo right there, but it'll be all right. So if I use this piece of plywood and put a 1-inch side on each side, I'm still wide enough to use this old door from the carport. So that's the plan. A little bit of progress on the closet. I cut a rabbet for the back plywood to lay in, and I put some spacers. This is the bottom, so I'm gonna have a platform here, and I put 1 spacer at the top, and I cleaned and painted the plywood. It was pretty funky. And I think it's dry enough. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in, drop it in place, and shoot it up. I made this door about 20 years ago for my carport, where it stayed for, I guess, 16 years. And a few years back, we pulled it out to put a little refrigerator out there, and it's been in storage in the back ever since. And I was looking at how I did it. It's just a fat piece of wood with half lap joints, top, middle, and bottom. And it's held up pretty well. These little bead boards are just stuck in the back, 1 layer. It's held up pretty well. But the problem is it's thick. It's over 1 3/4 thick. So I had a piece of 2x here, planed it the right thickness, and I screwed it to the frame. It's got this defect up top, but I don't care. This is just a broom closet. And the door goes here, so I need a piece over here that's thick, and I don't have one here. So I'm going to take this board, which I have already planed, and glue it to this board, and glue another one on the other side, because I have these boards. In an hour or two, I'll be able to flip it around, glue and clamp the other side, and then we can move on from there. The second strip is clamped, and the glue's dry enough. I'm taking my clamps off, and I clamped it to the table because both of these boards had a little warp to them, but clamp to the table, it straightens them out, and with the glue dry, they're unwarped, I think. I haven't unclamped them yet. But now I need to plane them because it's over thick, and then I need to plane this edge so I'll have a smooth edge. And I'm hoping it'll be wide enough. I may have to do another glue to get it wider. So I ended up having to glue a little piece to make this wider. If I was waiting on this thing, this would have been a foolish way to spend my time, but I'm not waiting on it. We're here for the weekend, and it's supposed to rain Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's going to be like 5 days before I go out where I can deliver this thing. So I don't have a problem spending some glue up time and using up pieces that I would otherwise have trouble deciding whether to keep or throw away. So it's all glued up. It's too early in the morning to run it through the table saw, but I can at least get it unclamped. So I marked my hinge mortises on the carcass by putting the door in place and scribing them directly off the door. I didn't use a tape measure. And I mortised out the little notch for them. I got the bottom one screwed with the 4 number 12 screws. The top one is not screwed. And I will set the door up in here and put the pin on the bottom one, and that will locate the top one. Because if these are off just, like a 64th of an inch, it's pretty hard to get the pin in there. So I'm gonna do it this way. All right, both hinges fully installed. 8 screws in each one. They're not going anywhere. I'm gonna close the door, clamp it in the closed position, and use the door to set this side of the jamb to make sure I got a nice even reveal. Could have done it standing up, but it's already laying down, so we'll do it laying down. And this is the lovely board I'm going to use for the top of the door jamb. Pretty gnarly, but I think I can take that surface off and it'll be okay. So I got my shelves in. I got the front of them, and well, both sides plain so they won't be rough. Hinges are on. Got the corner sanded. I'm gonna have to put some kind of stain on it because it will stain. It'll turn black where people touch it from this oil in their skin. It won't be pretty. I would like for it just to go naturally gray, but that won't happen. Same thing on the other side, but when I close the door, it don't fit, even though I had a gap before. So get out the power plane. Frustrating. I don't know why, but in my mind, I've always had the shower floor flush with the bottom of the siding. So more or less the interior floor. But if I do that, it doesn't give me much headroom if I put a roof on it. And I do want to put a roof on it, otherwise you're stepping in leaves and stuff. So if I drop the shower floor down as low as I can go, it makes it a lot easier for the roof, but it makes privacy a little more challenging because people can peek out this window into the shower, and I don't care. Nobody's going to look at me, but there's young ladies in the family, and they're a little more modest than this old man. So I don't know. I think I'm going to make it like a foot off the ground. That gives me plenty of room to put a roof and still not have the edge of the roof too low. And I'll just deal with some sort of screen for privacy. But I'm ready to put some beams and some joists and some decking. I'm using all old stuff. Okay, ready for decking. And obviously I was always going to cut that post off in the corner so the decking could go over it. This one I was kind of mixed because it'd be kind of nice to bolt a longer 4x4 to hold up the roof. But I think it's going to be too intrusive. I think I'll just cut it off, deck it, and then I'll have to set another post further out. But yeah, ready for decking. Shower is decked. I just barely had enough 2x6s, and actually some of these are kind of rough. I think I'm probably going to paint the shower floor. I don't usually like painted decks, but since this is a shower, it's going to have a roof on it. It's going to have bare feet on it. I think a good heavy coat of deck paint might be in order. But now I need to rip the ends. I got them marked, and I need to cut all these. I have them marked, and I do have a couple of 2x4s for this last piece of decking. I don't have any more 2x6s that are worth putting down. So we'll do that, and then we'll start looking at what we're going to do for a roof. right, one more will do it. I got the skirt across the back. Came out okay. I'm hardly bleeding at all. So now I need to do this side with some new sheet metal, and I don't know if I have enough, as usual, but we'll find out shortly. And we made some progress on the shower. I've got this door, came from the same house that was torn down where I got all the other lumber. This door was there. 2 of the boards are broken, but I replaced them. And if I put it right where it's clamped and look out this window, you can't, the people in the shower have privacy. You can barely see the top of their heads. So that takes care of that issue. And I put the sheet metal around the bottom for like a little privacy screen. So I'm out of decent boards, so I quit. Have to close in this side and put a roof on it. I do want a roof on it. And I guess I'm gonna need a light out here. I didn't think about that. Oh, I can get 12 volt from under the trailer. And yeah, it's coming along. It's a beautiful day. It rained on me this morning, and then it threatened to rain all day long. Now the sky's blue. The weatherman says it's supposed to be raining right now. So go figure. So once again, I'm not finished, but let's call this video done. So I have closed in under the siding. I have moved my little closet out here, and it's like doing perfectly well. I do need some hardware to hang the brooms, but it's been ordered and should be here tomorrow. I did put joist hangers on the joist for whatever reason. I do not have the beams anchored down to the columns yet. These are the 2 redwood 4x4s. This is the width of the screen door, so I went ahead and set them to get them out of the shop. I built a step, finished the step, and I'm gonna pour concrete on this bottom step. If I can quit running over it with the truck and smashing it, I've done it twice already. And as usual, Hot Rod is not impressed, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.